The silent town, a whisper of shadows. The dense foliage seemed to part reluctantly as James wandered deeper into the heart of the woods. His backpack clung to his shoulders, burdened by the weight of curiosity that drove him to explore the unknown. The silence was unsettling, an oppressive force that pressed on his ears. The only sound was the muffled crunch of leaves beneath his boots. As James emerged from the woods, a surreal sight greeted him. An entire town, seemingly untouched by time, stood frozen in silence. The houses were immaculate, curtains billowing gently in the stagnant air. The streets were empty, and an eerie mist crept along the cobblestone paths, unable to resist the allure of this ghostly settlement. James stepped onto the deserted streets. The silence was deafening, magnifying the creaks and groans of the old buildings. He wandered through the abandoned marketplace, the remnants of a forgotten time still visible, an overturned cart, faded posters clinging desperately to the walls. In the central square, James discovered an ancient well. Beside it lay a weathered leather journal. Intrigued, he opened it, revealing the meticulous handwriting of a long-lost resident. The entry spoke of a vengeful spirit that had cursed the town, silencing its people. The spirit demanded retribution for a perceived injustice, and the only escape was to break the curse before the town succumbed to perpetual silence. The journal hinted at a series of rituals, clues hidden throughout the town. As James followed the cryptic instructions, he realized the gravity of the situation. The spirit had become aware of his presence and grew more agitated with each passing moment. Shadows seemed to whisper threats as he delved deeper into the heart of the curse. The townspeople, frozen in an eternal silence, communicated with James through handwritten notes and cryptic gestures. Their eyes held a mixture of fear and hope as they implored him to break the curse. James felt the weight of their desperation, pushing him to unravel the mystery before the spirit's fury consumed them all. As he deciphered the final clue, a secret passage beneath the town square opened, revealing an ancient chamber. In the flickering candlelight, James confronted the vengeful spirit. It materialized in a spectral form, a visage of anguish and rage. The room echoed with the ghostly whispers of the townspeople, urging James to find a resolution. In a moment of revelation, James realized the true nature of the injustice that bound the spirit to the town. With a heartfelt apology and an offering of restitution, he broke the curse. The spirit's fury subsided, and a soft breeze swept through the town, carrying away the oppressive silence. The first sounds in decades filled the air, the rustle of leaves, the distant howl of a wolf, and the whispers of gratitude from the once silent town. James emerged from the underground chamber, greeted by the smiles and nods of the townspeople. The curse had been lifted, and the town was finally free. As James retraced his steps through the woods, he couldn't shake the feeling that he had witnessed something extraordinary. The silent town, once trapped in the shadows of its own history, could now breathe again. The echoes of the vengeful spirit had faded, replaced by the gentle hum of life returning to a place once lost in silence. Second story. The Ghost Ship, Shadows of the Abyss. It was a fog-laden morning when the coastal town of Havenridge woke to an unsettling sight. On the horizon, a ghost ship, long lost to the depths, had resurfaced. The once thought-lost cruise liner, named Abyssal Serenity, now loomed ominously in the waters, an enigma that sent shivers through the spine of the seaside community. Authorities scrambled to investigate the mysterious reappearance. The ship, despite years lost to the abyss, looked as if time had frozen. Its decks were pristine, chairs neatly arranged on the open-air lounges, and forgotten beach towels strewn across sunbeds. A surreal stillness hung in the air as investigators combed through the untouched artifacts of a bygone era. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows on the deserted town, the first signs of the supernatural emerged. Soft whispers echoed through the coastal breeze, and the townspeople swore they saw ethereal figures wandering the decks of the abyssal Serenity. It was as if the ship itself had become a portal to the past. The mayor, a pragmatic man of science, dismissed the claims as mere illusions fueled by the eerie atmosphere surrounding the ghost ship. But as the night deepened, the apparitions grew bolder. Spectral figures clad in vintage attire reenacted the final moments before the abyssal Serenity vanished, their faces etched with fear and despair. Havenridge was thrust into a nightmarish reality. Caught between the living and the spirits of the ship's ill-fated past. The townspeople, gripped by both terror and fascination, gathered on the shores to witness the haunting spectacle. Amelia, a young historian with a penchant for the supernatural, delved into the town's archives. She uncovered the chilling tale of the abyssal Serenity, lost at sea during a storm decades ago. Rumors of a mutiny and a vengeful spirit seeking retribution lingered in the faded accounts. Amelia realized that the restless spirits were trapped in a loop, replaying the traumatic moments that led to their demise. The townspeople, fueled by a newfound determination, joined her in a quest to break the cycle and put the souls to rest. Armed with old maritime artifacts and ancient rituals, the group ventured onto the ghost ship as the clock struck midnight. The air grew heavy with anticipation as they confronted the apparitions. The vengeful spirit, a spectral captain with hollow eyes, stood at the helm, reliving the storm-torn night that condemned the abyssal Serenity to the abyss. Amelia, driven by empathy, communicated with the spirit, unveiling the truth behind the mutiny and the betrayal that had damned them all. The vengeful spirit, once consumed by rage, finally found solace in the release of the long-held grudge. As the first light of dawn touched the horizon, the ghost ship began to fade, and the once haunted figures dissipated into the sea breeze. The town of Havenridge, now free from the specter of the abyssal Serenity, stood in silent awe on the shores. The fog lifted, revealing the open sea once again. The cruise liner, a relic of the past, vanished into the mist, leaving the coastal town to heal from the wounds of a supernatural ordeal. The ocean whispered its secrets, carrying away the echoes of a forgotten tragedy, and the souls finally set free from the shadows of the abyss. Third story. Reflections of the Abyss. In the quaint town of Hollowbrook, nestled between ancient trees and fog-laden hills, the Whitman family inherited an antique mirror of otherworldly origin. The mirror, passed down through generations, was a haunting relic with a reputation steeped in dread. Legend spoke of its malevolent power, a portal to the abyss that granted a chilling preview of one's own demise. The Whitmans, a skeptical bunch, scoffed at the superstitions surrounding the mirror. With its ornate frame and aged glass, it found a place in the family home. But as the clock struck midnight and the veil between worlds thinned, an unnatural chill filled the air. The family's matriarch, Eleanor, first dismissed the legends as mere fairy tales. With a hesitant smirk, she stood before the mirror, staring into its depths. At that ominous hour, her reflection morphed into a grotesque vision of her own lifeless body, draped in funeral attire. A gasp caught in her throat as the vision dissipated, leaving her trembling before the haunted glass. Eleanor's disquiet spread like a malignant fog through the Whitman household. Her husband, William, a pragmatic man of science, brushed off her concerns as an overactive imagination. Yet, as he approached the mirror, the room plunged into an unnatural darkness, and his reflection grinned back with hollow eyes. The vision foretold a demise drowned in shadows. As the nights passed, each family member faced the mirror's ominous prophecy. The children, Emily and James, glimpsed horrors beyond their understanding. Emily saw herself consumed by ethereal flames, while James witnessed a spectral figure dragging him into the abyss. Terror took root in the Whitman home. Unexplained whispers echoed through the halls, and unseen hands brushed against the skin in the dead of night. Shadows danced malevolently on the walls, and the mirror seemed to absorb the fear etched on every family member's face. Desperation gripped the Whitmans as the malevolent force within the mirror tightened its grip. They sought the counsel of the town's elder, a keeper of ancient lore. With a grave expression, she revealed the mirror's origin, a relic crafted in the depths of darkness, a gateway to the netherworld. A ritual to break the mirror's curse was their only hope. The family gathered at midnight, surrounded by the ominous glow of flickering candles. As they chanted the incantation, the mirror trembled, releasing tortured wails that reverberated through the house. Suddenly, the room fell silent. The mirror shattered, and a gust of icy wind swept through the room. The malevolent force expelled, leaving behind only shattered glass and the echoes of its defeat. The Whitmans, breathless and shaken, stood in the aftermath of their supernatural ordeal. As dawn broke over Hollowbrook, the once haunted family home felt cleansed of the mirror's dark presence. The legend, now sealed within the shards, served as a warning to those who dared to invite the abyss into their lives. The Whitmans, scarred but resilient, vowed never to underestimate the horrors that could be hidden within the reflections of the haunted mirror. Click a video on screen now. If you enjoy this story, then like this video and subscribe this channel now. Also do comment your story or any suggestions. And don't forget to share.